Welcome back, League Mates and listeners. I'm your host, Dane. As you might have noticed, the co-host, or my co-host, AJ, is not here today, and that's because I'm filming a special episode about our League of Record draft, and that's in 2 hours. It's September 3rd. We have our draft at 6 o'clock, and I'm just going to be going through my mindset and players that I'm targeting and how I think you can win the league from the third slot in a 12-team draft. So let's hop right over to that, and let me spoil all the secrets. All right, we are in a mock draft room. I am picking from the third slot, and initially when I claimed this area, I had a pretty early pick, so I got to choose the pick that was my favorite, and I chose the 3 because I wanted one of those elite wide receivers, and I fully believe that Jamar Chase is that league winner this year. The recent news, and there really isn't any clarity on when he's going to be back at practice or committed to playing for the Bengals this year, so I needed to come up with a new draft strategy, and I'll be explaining that pretty soon. But one other note on Chase, I still do think he could be a league winner, but I'm not taking that risk because in the first round, it's pretty tough to win your league with your first round pick, but it's really easy to lose your league with your first round pick because all the players are so great. I'm not taking a shot on someone that could not play or is showing some signs of injury proneness. So I'm switching up my method right now, and what I've been doing is trying to go like hero RB or back-to-back RB right away because I'm not in love with the running backs or wide receivers in that second round. So this went CMC, Tyreek Hill. I have my choosing of CeeDee Lamb, Justin Jefferson, Jamar Chase. And what I've been doing recently in these mocks is taking Breece Hall. So let's send that. We got Breece on the team. There's one thing that I'm doing in all of these drafts. We're probably going to do like 2 or 3 versions of this, and I'll be talking through all the players that I kind of like and dislike. But in this 4th and 5th round churn, I need a tight end. I think you need one of those top 6 tight ends this year, and they're kind of like that difference maker on that team. I'm also, for all of these strategies, kind of punting quarterback because I'm going to be going back to a streaming quarterback strategy this year. So I'm back up on the clock with my second round pick, and wide receivers available are Chris Olave, Brandon Ayuk, Deebo Samuel, Mike Evans, Nico Collins. I really like Devon Achane and Isaiah Pacheco in this range too. Another mock draft I'm going to do is probably go wide receiver early, and then hopefully I would get one of those. But right now, I am really interested in seeing what my team looks like when I go running back heavy early on, because I really don't like the running backs later on in the draft, but I'm finding myself, I find myself to really like the value of the wide receivers later on. And in round 4, I'm really hoping like DK falls, Devonta Smith, Cooper Kupp would be amazing. One of those players, we got Smith to fall and DK to fall, so I get to pick my choosing of them. I also, Team 2 took a tight end already, and I definitely want one of these guys, so I don't need to take my tight end now. I can wait till the 5th turn. If this team didn't take a tight end, I would definitely take my tight end now, and it would probably be Mark Andrews. I like him. Honestly, maybe he is my favorite tight end this year. Let's hope he falls to me, but I'm going to take DK Metcalf right now, and I'm going to get Mark Andrews too. Loving this start. So I started off, like I said, I need to get that tight end, but I got Breece Hall, Devon Achane, DK Metcalf, Mark Andrews, Isaiah Pacheco. I'm really not looking at running back anymore, and I'm going to be scouring for wide receivers. And we got Terry McLaurin to fall. I would love like Tank Dell in this area. I also do think T. Higgins is a great pick this year if he was to fall to me, or if DK wasn't there, I would have thought about T. Higgins in that 5th round, 4th round area. But right now, with what's available and what I'm looking at, I would really like McLaurin. I'm pretty high on Jaden Reed. Not really looking at Xavier Worthy, but I would be looking at Rashee Rice, Calvin Ridley. I like all of these players in that range. If I didn't And this is why, like, I like these wide receivers a lot more than the running backs of Najee Harris or Zamir White, Raheem Mostert. This just kind of feels like that running back dead zone in yesteryears. Really not looking at quarterbacks, and I don't have to think about tight end anymore. And if I was thinking about tight end, Ingram would be like the last tight end that I would want. So he would have been a target here if for some reason I couldn't have got Andrews. So let's a couple picks. Even though I have Pacheco, I'm going to be taking Rashee Rice here also. I think his value is definitely there. He probably should be like a 4th-round pick, but you can get him in the 6th or 7th sometimes. And then right here, I'm still shooting for the moon for these wide receiver picks and bringing into my starting lineup. So I'm going to be taking Calvin Ridley right here. I could go Chris Godwin as a safer pick, but I think I need... I'm not really looking for safety in redraft. I'm really want those league winners. And if the Titans offense shows out, then I'm sure Ridley's going to be having a great year as that number 1 option, hopefully. So this is what the team is looking like. Brees, Achane, DK, Rice, Andrews, Pacheco, Calvin Ridley. I got that starting lineup. You might be thinking, Dane, you should be looking at quarterback. But like I said, I'm punting quarterbacks and not really giving them any thought. I'm just going to be streaming them every single week. Jonathan Brooks is pretty interesting to me. Could throw him on my IR right away and then have extra help. I've been taking JSN here in every single mock draft. Be kind of surprised if he wasn't available, but I do have DK already in this draft, so it's a lot harder to swallow that pill. And instead, I'm going to be taking another shot on Brian Thomas. He could be a really good rookie. I believe in him a lot more than Keon Coleman. I mean, the draft capital kind of speaks to that. Yes, Coleman has the better. I'm not a Keon Coleman fan, like that contested catch type player. I don't really see it ever really working out in the NFL. Let's snag Brian Thomas. Jonathan Brooks was giving me a lot of question. And yeah, Jason is kind of the best wide receiver I personally think on the board still. So I'm just going to grab him. It's still like an insurance policy. I already have my starting lineup filled out. So it could be interesting. And I could see Jason and DK both having good weeks together also. We'll do like one more churn and then we can start up another draft. So right here we have... I could start looking at some high upside quarterbacks. Like if Jaden Daniels is there, I think I would have taken him there. Like I don't expect teams to be drafting their 2nd quarterback in my home league. But in this area, I really do like... I think Dobbs is a great value. Maybe I'm just a Packer homer, though. But I think he's going to be pretty safe and consistent. Could be that number 1 option for the Packers even. And then I like Dowdle as late round running back shot. And Chuba Hubbard I'm really like too, just because that Brooks injury, who knows how healthy he'll be when he comes back. I do think Brooks will be good when he comes back. It's just a matter of time of when he will come back. So I think Chubbard's going to have a role early on, maybe even holds on to that, shows out for that. And then maybe even Josh Palmer might be one of my favorite receivers in this area because he could be that wide receiver 1 for the Chargers. I'm going to go Dobbs and then hopefully Josh Palmer falls to me. There goes Chuba and Palmer. And our bench is a little bigger. I would probably get some more running back depth. But that is what my team looks like right there. We got the screenshot. And let's do another one. Just delete this draft. Let's see what it looks like if I go wide receiver first. And then, let's go Tyreek. Would love to have him on the team. Or CD. But here I would still be targeting that running back. Again, I'm just not a fan of these round 2 wide receivers. There's just a lot of question marks around them. But if Puka fell to me, yes, of course, I would be picking up Puka. I personally don't see this happening. If this happens, I'm going to draft Puka. Hope Pacheco falls to me then also. But I kind of want to see like a realistic mock. And I'm going to take Pacheco. Don't really want the Achane and Hill stack right away. So we have Pacheco, Hill, and then let's get... Then I'm thinking about Nico. I saw something somewhere where it's not really beneficial sometimes to be taking like that value player. It's more often the experts and the ADP are kind of correct on that top player in the offense is the one that you should be drafting and wanting, rather than taking that value player later. So like Tank Dell or Diggs. So thinking about Nico, even Cooper Kupp. Yeah, we went with Nico. It was between him and I do like Kupp this year a lot. We'll see what comes back to us. I would love my running back 2 solidified. So if like James Cook or Kenneth Walker were there, I would be considering them all day. Look at that. We got Kenneth Walker. There are 1, 2, 3 tight ends that I would select in this range too, and there's only 2 teams between me, so I don't really have to think about that. I want the player that I want the most, which is Kenneth Walker on my team, and then I can figure out my tight end after, whichever one falls to me. And I got Trey McBride. He's kind of my least favorite of the 3, so that's kind of unfortunate, but I still got one of those all-star 3 players. The other thing is, like, I do like Pitts and George Kittle also, so let's see what happens if I don't take a tight end right now, just because this was really unfortunate, and go T. Higgins. I want Chase on my team, but I think selling for T. Higgins in the 5th round is a pretty good value. And then I'm just praying I get Evan Ingram, I guess, because Trey McBride, damn. Yeah, this is going to be an interesting mock. This is why I think you need to get one in this 4th, 5th turn, because now I'm just screwed at tight end, even though this is what my roster is looking like. Pacheco, Kenneth Walker, Tyreek, Nico, T. Pretty baller, not as baller because I do not have a tight end. And at this point, I'm probably just punting tight end. Like, there's only 3 other teams that can take a tight end. And is Bowers, Ferguson, or Njoku really going to be better than Dalton Schultz or Goddard or even Hawkinson on my IR? Probably not. So I'm just going to end up punting that. And I'll be taking the best player available. Still probably Rice. And might just do that again in this draft. And yeah, Ridley probably would have went with him again, but I'll be taking Jaden Reed right now. And since I didn't go crazy on running backs early on, in this range, I do like targeting Najee Harris, or even if somehow Montgomery fell and Stevenson, I would like them in that churn area also. Like Najee, if I went hero RB and Najee was my 2nd running back, but my wide receivers and tight end were loaded, I like that also. And this would be my last 2 picks in this mock. We'll go Fergie, kind of just visualize what this team looks like more. And then, yeah, give me JSN again. We'll just love him in this area. So we're 2 mock drafts down. I'm doing 1 third one as kind of like a hybrid one. Oh my gosh, I never even claimed my spot. But in the 3, let's go running back early and just straight up hero RB. Not even going to be looking at ETN or Pacheco, even though I love them so much as picks. I'm going to be going wide receiver heavy and then probably trying to get Najee Harris to pair up with later. And Devontae, let's go. It could possibly get Debo. I really don't want to take Devontae just because of that offense and the quarterbacks. Obviously, he's the best weapon, but he's getting pretty old. Chris Olave, don't want to put any faith into the Saints. Maybe what this is telling me is I should just go wide receiver early, wide receiver first, and then take a player like Achane or Pacheco with my next pick. But let's go Deebo Samuel, and then I feel better about Olave in the 3rd than the 2nd, so go with him. Malik Neighbors would be a super interesting pick, but we're going to go tight end and then probably my next favorite pick, which is T. Higgins after that. I mean, there is Kenneth Walker that's sitting there, which is pretty juicy, but I'm taking Mark Andrews. Kenneth Walker did not make it back. Going T. I think I would really like this team if I switched Chris Olave for Pacheco, which is definitely possible because Pacheco went right after. Now, Rice just makes so much sense because I don't have any other Chiefs players on my team. So this is what it looks like. Would have been great if Najee was there. My running backs suck. So I really do not like this method. And I'm just going to scrap this team because I'm not liking how it's turning out. And I fully believe that my first one was my favorite when I just went running back super heavy. Let's just look at it one more time if I did that. Do I want to, though? If I was on the clock right now, would I take Breece Hall or CeeDee Lamb? I'm going CeeDee because I don't like the running backs. I'm going CeeDee because I don't like the wide receivers in the second round. And I can just go RB right here, which I would love. Not have to think about any of the running backs later on. And then I get Achane. Please give me Pacheco. Boom. Pacheco also. This would be an amazing start. I would be stoked if this was my team. And Achane Pacheco, let's do it. This is what I want to happen. I want to lock this in, and I want to get my tight end right here. Even better if no tight end goes off the board right there, because now I can pick between Andrews or Kincaid, and I can lock up T. Higgins right now also. And wow, no tight end win at all, and I get Andrews. This is going perfectly. This is what I want my team to look like. Achane Pacheco, CeeDee, T. Higgins, Mark Andrews. This is my favorite team, and I'm going to will it into existence in an hour and a half. Let's see what happens. So here is where things will be getting interesting, is because I'm going to be hitting a stack with the Chiefs. Like, I feel like Rice here is too much of a value to pass up, and if he's not there, I'm going Ridley. Man, if he's not there, I'm going to be confused, and I'm not going to know what to do. I'll probably go Ridley, Godwin, but let's get Rice. Ridley's gone, and the main reason I don't want a quarterback is because I find myself drafting a quarterback, they're pretty dry, and then I have to like drop someone on my bench that I like to pick up another quarterback. Instead of just streaming quarterback, I just rotate it every single week, and I don't have to like play that game of who should I be dropping. I can just drop my quarterback if I don't want to play them that week. But here on the clock, could take Godwin, but let's go with Lad. Get some upside. Could be that first target. Also, Zamir White kind of spoke out to me just because it would be pretty cool to have a decent like bye week option at running back right there. But I still needed to fill out a full starting lineup. Here, we all know what's going on. Taking JSN, and then I would love Brian Thomas after. And I get Brian Thomas also. And I'll end this draft here. This is what I would love to happen. The only thing I'm a little concerned about is I just talked to Jake, who's picking at team 2. He said he would be pretty interested in taking CeeDee Lamb there. So more than likely it's going to be an option of Tyreek Hill and CeeDee Lamb. And if that's the case, I don't think I really want to do the Devon Achane, Tyreek, and Pacheco Raji Rice thing, which would just get a little messy. So maybe I'll be taking Breece Hall there. We'll see what happens in the draft room, and I'll film a little update when the draft is concluded and just how my team went. Or there might even just be a new episode with AJ and I going over our teams, and we'll be having the debrief in there. So if that's the case, thanks for watching. Hope you kind of got a sense of my targets that I really like, and hopefully you get some on your team. But talk to you in another episode. All right, see ya.